What's happening, sports fans? Welcome back. Happy New Year to everybody. You're gonna hang out with us right now and find out how we made this awesome Dutch oven red wine braised spare ribs. It is awesome. Very important that you watch this entire video, folks. You know we have our 10,000 subscriber giveaway Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. One of the questions, it's a Mom and Papa Joe trivia. One of the questions is coming from this video. So you need to watch this video. Let's get started. Here are our beautiful short ribs. Man, the marbling in these are absolutely beautiful. I mean, look at these. These are obviously not from the chuck end. These are more of a short plate. So last night, cleaned them up, a little bit of salt, kosher salt, and put them in my fridge overnight to dry. So they're nice and dry. I'm gonna come back real quick with just a little more salt before we get ready to brown these. We're gonna set these aside and let's get our veggies going while that pan heats up. Got a couple of carrots, a couple of stalks of celery, 3 cloves of garlic, medium yellow onion, a couple of 5 portobellos, bunch of parsley, small sprig of rosemary, and a sprig of thyme. Let me get these chopped up. It's not important what size you cut these in, as small or as large as you want. All right, our pan is nice and hot. I've got some avocado oil. You can use any oil of your choice, preferably one that's not going to burn, something that can tolerate high heat. I'll go with maybe a tablespoon and a half. I've got about a tablespoon and a half of all-purpose flour. I'm just gonna give these short ribs a light dusting. Nothing much, just really light. So we'll go 3 at a time. We wanna get all the sides a nice, rich, dark. Might give or take 3-4 minutes, 5 minutes per side. We shall see. That's been about 4 minutes. All right, that'll work. All right, so let's move to another side. Oh yeah. All right, so we're removing our second batch, man, and we're good to go. And because these short ribs are nicely marbled, we developed some additional fat. I don't want all this fat in my braising liquid when that time comes, so I'm gonna soak some of it up with a paper towel. I've probably got a tablespoon left there. In with my mirepoix, celery, carrots, and onions. We'll probably go maybe 5-7 minutes. I'm starting to see a little color on my onions. They're looking great. You know, they say you're not supposed to brown a mirepoix. I like to see a little color and everything. So now I'm going to come back with my 3 crushed cloves of garlic. I'm going to give that a couple of 2-3 minutes max. All right, it's been 3 minutes of this garlic getting to know the mirepoix. Now I'm going to come back with 2 tablespoons of some tomato paste. All right, we want to move this around, get everybody red and sticky. It's a must that you cook the rawness out of a tomato paste in any dish. Cooking the rawness will prevent whatever you're cooking from becoming a little bit tart, a little bit sour. What cooking it out does is it sweetens that tomato. It brings a natural sweetness and also works as a thickening agent. So we're gonna give this just about 5 minutes. When I see this tomato paste starting to stick on the bottom of my pot, that tells me that I'm ready to move to the next step. My tomato paste is starting to stick. I'm gonna come in with those 5 baby portobellos that I cut up, and we're gonna give this another few minutes. So So we've cooked this long enough for the mushrooms to lose some of their moisture, and man, it is smelling great. Now I'm coming back with 2 cups of a red wine. Folks, don't spend any money on a expensive red wine. You definitely want it to be dry. If you are not into cooking with wine, then add beef stock or even water or maybe a chicken stock. We're probably going to reduce this by a half to ensure that we cook out and concentrate the flavors. Just like tomato paste, this red wine is acidic, and if you don't cook out the raw alcohol, you're going to end up with something that's very, very sour, kind of tart. Once you've cooked out that alcohol and it's concentrated, man, it gets a little sweet and really, really ties this braising liquid together. So we're going to give this maybe 10 minutes. Oh, we are ready to go. We're at that point, folks. We are thickened up nicely, man, concentrated. I can't smell that wine or tomatoes anymore, so I know it's all been cooked out. I'm gonna go meat side down. It's going to be a tight fit initially, but as these cook, they will shrink, and we're gonna be moving these around throughout the cook. What I've got here is 2 cups of beef broth, and I want to bring this mixture up just to about tops. I'm going to bring this back to a boil. In the meantime, my oven is being preheated to 325. So we created our braising liquid on the stove. We're going to put a lid on this heavy pot, and then we're going into the oven at 325, and I'm anticipating maybe 2.5 hours. We'll come back in an hour and a half or so, stir things up, move things around, see how we're doing, check for salt, bring it to a boil. All right, we are at a rolling boil. And as you can see, I am not worried about not browning the bottoms. Cooking in the oven, that heat coming from the top through this lid, that's gonna cause that to brown. I expect that these bones are going to fall off. We're going to cook these to the point where they're so tender, they're just about fall off the bone. Those bones should come out easily. So time to go into our oven. So to go alongside our polenta and short ribs, I'm going to have a little mushroom and bacon combo. I've got 4 thick slices. I think 3 might be enough, but I've got that extra one. And we're gonna do these in a nice chunky size. You know what? Man, we're going with 4 strips, so I'm adding that other one. All right, I checked this at an hour and a half, and man, I was surprised at how quickly they were cooking, how close they were, and I figured maybe another 45 minutes. So we are at 2 hours and 15 minutes, and I really think we're where we need to be. They are just so tender. The bones are just coming out of there, just like I said they would. So I am going to call this good. I'm going to turn my oven off, remove this pot, get these short ribs out of here, and start working on this sauce. Right now I'm getting ready to start my polenta and my mushroom and bacon. All right, so to start this polenta, I'm going to add 1 cup of water, 2 cups of milk. This is going to be a nice creamy polenta. I'm going to bring this to a low boil. I'm at about a teaspoon of salt, and then I'm coming back with 1 cup of yellow polenta. I'm gonna see if I've got to add any more of either. Let's start our bacon and mushroom. I forgot to grate my Parmesan. Nothing like fresh Parmesan in a recipe, folks. I'm looking for about 1 cup. I'm just gonna grate till my fingers start bleeding. All right, so here we come with that Parmesan. That bacon is over there doing its thing.
That bacon smells good. Look at all that cheese.
It's a beautiful consistency too. Our bacon may have a little more oil in it. Let me get rid of just a scooch. We're gonna come back with those mushrooms. The bacon's gonna have enough salt. The only thing I might add is some black pepper. All right, so what we're gonna do now is to remove these short ribs. Oh yeah. That way we can strain and clean up our broth. I gotta be very gentle handling because they are tender as all get up, man, wow. So I'm gonna run this through my chinois, my strainer, and see how much we're left with. Hot stuff, hot stuff, hot stuff. Get all that goodness out of there. Squeeze, press. And again, this paper towel is in the spout to prevent any oil from going into the spout. When I'm ready to pour off, after I'm satisfied that all the oil is on top, I will open this and pour out the good stuff, leaving the oil behind. All right, so we're gonna clean these up before they go back. Oh my goodness. And what I talk about cleaning up is this tissue where the bones were. You get rid of this because this is going to be chewy. All right, this is not going to be pleasant. It's going to be left on your plate. You can see that oil separated from the good gravy. All right, so now just make sure the oil is above the spout. I remove and I just pour off. Right. This is going back on the stove. We're going to be checking and tasting. We just want it to thicken up a little bit. All right, let's put together. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at that glaze. Look at that glaze. Talk about food porn right here. Wow. Oh yeah. Some little green. Absolutely delicious. There's a slight sweetness, man. I think that's from the wine and that tomato paste. The bacon mushroom. So once again, very simple cook, folks. It's a little time consuming, but there's nothing too difficult. Do not miss out on Thursday. A plethora of gifts, man. You've got to know something about Mom and Papa Joe's. One of the questions, at least one, is coming from this video. So you need to make sure that you watch this entire video. I want you guys and gals to take care of yourselves. Have a prosperous 2023. Mom and I are going to see you when we see you. Holla.